Well, 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 good evening, everyone. And we are here yet again for another session of the Darkening of Mirkwood. Only this time we have a mishmash of characters. A fellowship that has not yet been a full fellowship.
Oh.
Ooh.
And I will apologize ahead of time. My Discord wants to keep freezing up, so if I am lost or I'm not responding immediately, that's because I don't hear anything. Ah. I don't know why it's doing that, but I am working on it, hopefully. Before we get into it tonight, we will kick off with a bit of a recap and a bit of an overview of the world as it currently is, as it has been 3 years since the last session in, game time, not real time. It hasn't been 3 years. It was like a week ago. If you think it's been 3 years, if you just woke up and you think it's been 3 years, I'm sorry for that heart attack. That is not what happened.
Guys, I wake up and there's this thing called COVID running around. The fuck's that shit?
When we last were all here, it was the year 2953 of the Third Age. And our fellowship assisted Bjorn and the Bjornings in reclaiming the Western Forest Gate from a band of sort of pseudo Woodmen vagabonds known as Vigeland Knights, who are under the chieftain of Vigeland. They helped Bjorn with that, and they undertook the endeavor of helping Bofuri, the son of Bofer, of rebuilding and reopening the old forest road that cuts through the heart of Mirkwood. That would take some time, and they used 2 years, roughly a year and a half, really, as the full fellowship did not make an effort to rebuild the road in those first 2 years, but enough did to make some headway. But in that time, the fellowship parted ways. Some went home, some stayed where they were, and some did a bit of traveling to seek out their own endeavors. In 2954 of the Third Age, the road continued its construction, and Nela continued to remain as chieftain in Mountain Hall.
That's good.
There were rumors. In case you didn't know, Lindsay, in case you weren't aware.
No coup or anything.
She's been gone a long time. I don't know, maybe we should just pick someone else to lead us.
Yeah.
That Mogdred guy sounds good. Let's go to him.
It was just the way you said it. With she still continues to be chieftain, like she didn't need a re-election or something.
She won her re-election in a landslide unopposed. Anyway. In the year 2954, rumors begin to spread out that the deep howls of a wolf-like creature are heard throughout Mirkwood. Most people do not delve too far into Mirkwood to follow these howls or actually see what's making the noise. They assume wolves and go no further with that.
That's a mega warg there.
Okay.
A what?
That's a mega warg. That's a mega warg.
The settlement of Mountain Hall momentarily stops providing aid to Bofuri and Vidar for the Old Forest Road, as they suffer a setback on their own as a tin mine collapses.
Oh no, a
shaft of the
tin mine collapses. Oh no, what are we gonna do? Abandon our friends in the forest?
Yes. Precisely that. And several woodmen begin venturing deeper into southern Mirkwood, finding old ruins. In 2955... Did I read that right? Did I skip something? I think I skipped something. No.
Trying to keep track of the timeline. The sacred timeline?
It's all...
Ah,
Ah!
Oh, good.
In 2955, if I'm talking over people, I'm sorry. It's Discord.
No, you're good.
Because every time
No.
when I come back in, I just hear laughter. I'm like, what I miss?
Now you good.
Quick, everybody just laugh and throw him off.
Tee.
Do you want to run this?
Hi.
In 2955, the Woodmen settlement of the Black Tarn begin to see marsh dwellers appear near near the edge of the eastern side of the lake. And then several woodmen end up going missing as they're traveling down the dusky river through Mirkwood. And after a few years of, we'll say, an armistice, the feud briefly erupts between Bjorn and the Viglins yet again, as one of the Vinglanites are killed by an unknown archer. But we are now in the year 2956. And we are going to transition a bit away from Mirkwood and head back to the town of Esgaroth, also known as the Long Lake, on the other side of Mirkwood, where the kingdoms of the north, meaning Dale, Dane, and the Elven King, are going to have their Council of the North. And they have sent out requests of emissaries and envoys on behalf of the kingdoms to come raise concerns, speak their minds, and ultimately, hopefully bring goodwill amongst all the other kingdoms of the land. And that is where we are going to pick up tonight. As we transition from the world map to Lake Town. So, soundscapes, which soundscape do I need?
I can already hear the soundscape unless it's a new one.
I haven't changed to
No,
one
I'm
yet.
saying because we've been to Lake Town so much, I can hear it in my memories.
Oh,
That's funny.
Let's see if you're right.
Yep. There's gonna be some
Fish
deep
Market
voice
District.
dudes that are just like, "Hey, blah, blah, blah."
Fish Market District in Fantasy Town.
I am his mother.
No, that's a tavern.
Still.
And if I'm not mistaken, Fantasy Town is what Kevin calls his bedroom. Anyway.
Not what I call it, but okay.
Oh, well, not the rumors on the wind. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So, we come to the long bridge coming from mainland to the floating city that is Esgaroth. And there is a long string of people in no orderly fashion walking towards the main gates of Lake Town. Mixture of commoners, merchants, people from faraway lands. And among that crowd, we find two individuals on horseback riding slowly with the flow of traffic, if you will. And one of them we recognize, although older. The erosion of time is beginning to show at the corners of the eyes and beneath the cheekbones. The hair beginning to show stress and starting to show streaks of gray. maybe not entirely from age, maybe for more of experiences in this land. But we recognize this individual as the chieftain of Mountain Hall, Nela, who rides atop a horse with Wolfbiter at her hip, but dressed down a bit in terms of not wearing her leather armors or anything as such, a bit more chieftain-like. But she does come bearing weapons in the event of some tomfoolery in Lake Town that she would not be a stranger of.
That sounds about right.
Alongside her is her trusted advisor. Lindsay, why don't you reintroduce who you are?
Oh, for some reason I was not expecting that. Okay. Guess what, friends? Alright, so also on horseback next to Nela is a familiar face who everyone knows as Thea of Westmarch. She was a good old 19 years old when she first started adventuring with Mathan and Vidar, and now a lot of years, a good number of years have passed since then, so she, having been an adult already, doesn't necessarily look older in a sense, but looks more herself again after a very surprising 2 years of adventuring, with it being her first time as an adventurer. She was quite surprised by a number of experiences she got, but so she looks more put together than the last time you saw her, and more mature and collected right now, especially with her hair. Instead of just being a typical side braid and her bangs showing, it's more of a two-tiered braided hairstyle that's braided around and collected in the back, and she's more, especially for this situation, she's a little more eloquent or elegant and diplomatic in this feature. But for those who will see her again, she doesn't physically look older, even though now she's well over 20. She's more experienced, having seen things now, but more collected about it, as opposed to a little more frantic in the past and not knowing what quite to do with it. So a newfound confidence, so to speak.
All right. So the two of you slowly guide your horses through the crowd, heading towards the gates. As you get closer and closer, Nela sort of looks towards you. I know it's been a while, but I'm glad to have you back.
It's good to be back. I kind of missed it in the end, as crazy as it was. I missed getting out of Rohan for a little bit.
Was home not what you remembered?
It is, and then it wasn't. You know, with King Fangol's death having been so recent and everything, so much has changed. But it brought back some peace and security after venturing with Vidar and Mathan. But it was interesting. In the end, as I said, I missed it. So it was home, and yet it wasn't completely me anymore. There was still another bit of me that seemed like she was left in Middle-earth, out and about.
You know, I never got to know King Thengol, but I can only assume Thengol will be a bit, or the newly crowned King Thengol will be a bit more open to relationships than his father was.
I'm hoping for the same. It's a little interesting to have learned, in a way, the perspective of the previous king while being out and about. But there's always, regardless, there's always a new optimistic hope, in a sense, when someone new comes into power. And yeah, I do too. I hope to see something come to fruition of this.
Well, unfortunately, the King of Rohan is not here, so we're dealing with the men of the North here. I'm going to rely on you greatly to get us through any sort of negotiations we might come across. I don't know exactly what will be discussed, but given the opportunity to bring any issues up, I intend to.
You can count on me, Chief.
Don't call me that.
It's fun.
It makes me feel old.
No one lives forever. Well, some do live forever. No one stays young forever, I guess I should say.
None
Not
of
you
our
and I,
kind.
at the very least.
None of our kind. And at this point, you guys sort of get to the gate, and Nela pays the entry toll, and the two of you come through the other side of the gate and dismount and bring your horses over to a nearby stable, to which Nela pays for the stabling fee. And the two of you begin heading deeper into Lake Town. You've arrived a day ahead of the actual council. So this is sort of like the influx, and as you walk in, you see the streets decorated to an extent. There are colorful streamers. There's, for lack of a better term, trash littering the boardwalks from vendors, peddlers, festivities in general. This isn't a festival, but there's a lot of nobility in one place, so a lot of people come far and wide and are celebrating as such. However, merchants are everywhere. There are stalls lining what little bit of street there can be, and the town square is completely filled up, more so than what you would be used to. But having arrived a day ahead, Nela is guiding you towards an inn and tavern in order to come up with lodging, so you can remain here for the next few days. She says, to her knowledge, this council was held for the first time several years ago. So this is only the second council itself, but it is supposed to last 5 days. So you guys continue heading deeper into Lake Town, and we are going to wipe the screen. And we are going to come back to that, but we transition to the inside of one of the taverns. Changing music yet again. I do that a lot. But we come to a tavern that is quite packed. It is loud and boisterous inside. The barkeep and the waitstaff are extremely busy running back and forth, trying to keep up with orders and the drunkards. Ah, there it is. Swinging Door Pub. Excellent. This might be where this is where you there. This is where he is hers, where she is his mother.
Yep.
But inside we see somebody who sort of stands out amongst the crowd, sort of pale skin, very clean looking, medium-length blonde hair, and that good chiseled jawline. But we also recognize him as another chieftain, Ceawin the Generous of Sunstead. And alongside him, we recognize Vali. Kevin, since it has been a hot minute since Vali, would you care to describe how he may have changed in the passing of years?
So, in the past, God, what's it been? We said 3 years, even before that, so roughly 3 years.
4 or 5 years, yeah.
Yeah, so 4 or 5 years. Vali's appearance has changed a little bit. The once armored up to the gills, barding, has kind of loosened a little bit up on his armor restrictions, kind of given a little bit more free movement since going and living in Sunstead the past couple of years. I see Brian lifting Vali, just shoulder pressing our DM over his head. He's like, wait.
I needed more mobility, Ceawin. That is why I have ditched such restricting armor.
Just Ceawin, yeah. But Vali still remains still dedicated to his cause of removing enemies of the shadow. Kind of taking a little bit more laid back, more positive, happy demeanor, just being more among people than kind of like isolating himself throughout his time. Loosening up his armor a little bit and just kind of being a little bit more open. His hair's kind of growing a little bit back out, as opposed to kind of like the, lack of a better term, the buzz cut that he had before. He kind of grew his hair just a little bit back out and gained a little bit more muscle tone. Yes, we are lifting more, but training more men of Ceawin's guard and being more of a captain gave him a little bit more responsibility, and he wanted him to kind of show the demand of the job. He's put on a little bit more tone.
Ooh, nice token.
Thank you.
Oh, did I? Okay, it just changed mine. Ha, I forgot.
But that is our favorite barding, wanderer, bowman, Vali.
And as we come into this tavern, 2 tankards of ale are placed down in front of Ceawin, and he slides one over to you and holds the mug up. Captain!
My
Cheers.
lord. Cheers.
2 of you take a drink. It's good to have you here. I'm quite pleased you decided to stay in Sunstead. And what you've done with the guard and the militia there. Admirable. Thank you, sir.
It's my pleasure, my lord. Definitely good to see some good boys, get some good fighting skills. Especially men as fine as yours.
Well, you turned them into fine men. Not everyone is born that way.
But you started it.
I can only hope so. But that is why we're here, it is not?
That it is. Curious to see how much this has changed since I was last here. It's been a couple years.
Well, it is definitely busier, but...
A lot more lively.
Indeed. But, hopefully, I mean, we're not here on behalf of the Woodmen. We're here on behalf of Sunstead. I wonder who was sent here for the Woodmen. I sort of left the folk moot before that decision. Well, I guess we'll find out. I hope they're not
Nela
pissed.
sneezes from across town.
just hear y'all. Hey!
What you? Someone's talking about me.
But our goal here is to secure trade and protection between here and Lake Town. Hopefully, with whatever the rest of the Woodmen are going on, we have that already secured, being part of the Woodman Society. But we must look out for our own interest.
That we do.
Please open
At
the
this-
door.
At this point, as the door opens, we see a extremely familiar figure enter, our old dwarven friend Vidar, who has come here on his own. But as he enters, Ceawin recognizes him immediately. Vidar, please come over here. Have a seat.
Vidar will walk over and say, Ceawin, I should have expected to see you here.
Well, I'm here.
I am here in a bit of an official capacity for once.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm the ward warden.
I'm afraid I don't know what that is.
Orphery and I are almost done getting the old Dwarven Road operation and ready for travel and trade.
Oh, that was brought up at the Folkmoot midsummer. It's going well.
It is. All the forts have been reclaimed. We're just finishing restoring the roads themselves for safe travel. The roads have been cleared, but travel, it's so hard to get a wagon through there for the time being.
That's good. That's good. I have heard, though, that more creatures are coming out of the mountains of Mirkwood recently and heading south. That might inhibit some of your progress in the coming years.
Well, that's what this, and he pulls out the warden staff, is for.
Oh,
I've never-
you haven't.
I've never known you to fend off a foe with a stick, Vidar.
Oh, the runes of the magic keep most of the beasts away. Some are a little too brave for their own good, and that's where this comes in. He brings out the large warhammer that he hasn't used yet.
Vali just gonna look kind of wide-eyed, just.
Are you dual wielding a staff
Ow.
and a hammer?
Now, let me introduce you, my friend Vidar. I don't believe the two of you have met Vali. Vidar, this is
No,
my
I haven't.
captain.
I'm still
my-
looking wide-eyed, just.
This is my captain of the guard, Vali.
I'm gonna.
Very
Vidar
honorable person.
just narrows his eyes at him. He's like, you know, I feel like I've seen you somewhere before, Vali.
I have one of those
I
faces,
can't
Master
quite put my
Dwarf.
finger on it. But if Ceawin speaks for you, I guess you're okay in my book. But tell me, Vali, what do you know of the Great Elf?
I've only heard tales of it. Never been. Why?
You can vouch for that, right, Ceawin?
He hasn't left my sight since the day I met him.
Okay. You're good in my book, Vali.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna-
that Vali, you've passed the test.
I'm just gonna go like, the fuck was that about? And I'm gonna go back to my drink.
Oh my god, Vali and Vidar, we're gonna fudge over each other's names so much now.
Another tankard, please, for my friend here. It's all on me, by the way, in case you were wondering.
We got 2 tankards then.
Don't get greedy, Vidar. Finish your first one.
Chugs it.
Why does this sound like a parent yelling at their child?
Ceawin's a little... He's generous, but he's got to strike that balance.
He's not that generous.
Ceawin is
Generous
somewhat
is
generous.
a part of your title, though, Ceawin.
I understand it. I'm already paying for it. But we will see.
Is he?
Actually, I do believe Vali has met another friend of yours, Vidar. Yes, Mathan was in Sunstead for a hot moment.
Oh yeah, Nathan told me about that.
That's probably why you get the recollection. He described him so vividly you could picture it. Like
That
you
man was
met him before.
a friend of yours?
Yes, the
Most
he's
days.
Junior Dame. There's a time Nathan and I, the two of us, faced down the werewolf of Mirkwood. Although, unfortunately, it didn't turn out to be the werewolf of Mirkwood. It was just a very powerful warg, known as what is his name? It's been so long I can't remember.
You know what his-
I have to go through my.
You know what his name
records.
is? You know what his name is? Dead.
I'll drink to that.
I'll say, so does Vali know like how
So, the reason
violent and dark like the wargs are, especially like around Mirkwood? Has he heard anything like that?
You may have heard it once or twice, but after living in Sunstead, you've probably encountered a few that have crept through the woods. So, your run-of-the-mill warg, yeah, you're familiar.
Okay. Wait, so you're telling me you took you and this Mathan took on the head of the wargs? Is that what you're telling
Yeah,
me?
it was like a king of the wargs, and there were a bunch of other wargs in the cave too. Oh, that was a fight for our life, let me tell you.
Nagra.
Kind
McGraw?
Nagraw. I just had, you know, it just clicked in my brain. No one told me just now, but Nagraw.
What Val?
Nagraw. That doesn't even sound like a name. That sounds made up.
Is that right?
Would Vali know who Nagraw is?
It's Nagraw.
He's dead.
Give me a shadow lore check.
I'm proficient. I'm a hunter, so.
11. You are familiar with what warg chiefs and warg chieftains are. However, the name Nagraw escapes you. That's
okay.
You don't know him specifically, but you understand the general concept of what he was.
What kind of fucking madman takes on a war chief by himself?
No,
and
not
then
two of us. Technically 3 of us. Because Mathan's girlfriend was with us at the time.
That man doesn't strike.
Tied down.
He's getting there, you know. In a few more years, I think it'll be official. But
does she know?
Oh yeah, she knows. In fact, she's tried to get him to remain at the Elven King's halls, and he just hasn't done it yet.
Oh my god.
Ceawin leans over to you, Vali, and sort of like elbows you in the rib cage. And I thought I was generous.
Vali's just kind of like going back into his head, going like, yeah, he didn't strike me as the held down type.
Just gonna touch on it real quick. The reason Vidar just sort of kind of recognizes, he thought he recognized Vali's face, is because Vali and Callan here went to the Iron Warg when Vidar was fighting.
Oh,
yeah.
that's right.
Vidar never ran into them.
That's right.
No.
I forgot.
They were just in the crowd. Vidar made a cameo.
Yeah. Weren't they heckling at Vidar?
Yeah, they voted. They were putting money against Vidar.
I wasn't.
But he wasn't in there as Vidar. He was the Iron Dwarf then.
Yeah.
Talon here was specifically placing money against him. Actually, Callan here and
the one dwarf.
Oh god, what's her name?
She made the helm.
I remember.
Yeah.
I think it's in my other notes, because I recently switched to digital notes, and I don't think. Wait. Oh, Svior.
Man.
Svior,
yes.
Yeah, Matt was right. Good call, Matt.
It is in my digital notes.
You get DM's inspiration.
Hey, look at you.
Hey,
I already have it. I should have used it.
Oh, I'll take it.
Not how that works.
Aw.
Yeah, no, Svior is basically the embodiment personality of just a shot of fireball.
I remembered Nagraw.
I'm just waiting for Vidar and Svior to meet, because they'd be a power couple.
Oh, they would. Can we make this happen? Canon.
Well, there was the other female dwarf.
The one that
was hired at Fort Hammerfell.
Mm.
Where like the first thing she ever said was in the middle of a fight, and she said, "Fucking kill him." That was it.
Now that we're off topic.
Anyway,
everyone else off to the side.
Yep. At this point, the more people. Some people are leaving out the tavern. Some people are flowing in. And about a mix of people make their way in. Among them is Nela and Thea, who are quickly scan the room, and Thea sees Vidar and makes whatever reaction she wishes to. Nela locks eyes on you and immediately goes, "Fuck." Vidar, hi.
It's been a couple years. Where have you been?
Vidar! Thea will run over and just give him a hug.
Thea, it's been much longer since I've seen you.
It has been so long. How are you?
Better.
Better. That's right. Are you okay? Are you well? She's like holding his face and like checking it out. Like, I heard about the Great Elf. I am so sorry. I was so concerned about you. But when I met with Nela again, right, composure. I met back with Nela again, and I heard that you were okay, and I'm very pleased about it.
Yeah, last time Nela and I were together, we almost died.
Yes, she told me so many stories about what's happened recently. I'm a little sorry I missed it, but I do not regret missing out on what was that? Oh, the giant spider you guys came
Oh,
across.
Taller. Still gotta find him. He's somewhere in those fucking woods. I'll break him.
I really hope we don't see him, just saying. That thing could probably eat poor Winfla in one gulp.
Let me tell you, everyone was dying on the ground, clinging on to life. It was just me and Taller facing off against each other. And I hit Taller so hard, Taller ran for the hills instead of facing me down.
Vali's just looking like, just with PTSD, going like, fucking spider.
I already know Nayla's rolling her eyes, but Thea's gonna be like, yes, that is exactly what Nela told me happened.
The facial expression I'm actually making is what Nela did.
It's not an untrue story. Vida has not told an untrue story yet.
Oh, yes, Lord Ceawin, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance once more.
Ceawin.
Ceawin.
Give me a minute. I'm doing a thing. Ceawin. Nela.
Oh, wait, no, no.
Donkey!
So you decided to not represent the Woodmen so you could be here to...
Oh.
My Lady Nela. Now, if you don't mind, I am running very late. I have to claim my room. Vali, you can hold down the fort. That's perfectly fine. Yes, I'll catch up with you all later. And Ceawin sort of scoots back. And...
I just turned to the barmaid really quick, and the bartender real quick,
my
and I
lord?
just say, so I can take it on his tab. I just whisper it quickly as Ceawin leaves.
Not a problem. During all of this, Ceawin does mind his manners and greet you, Thea. He doesn't just leave you.
No
hanging there.
problem.
He does mind that.
I'm sure he does that and then looks at Nayla and goes, ugh.
Yeah, he does a bow. He does a very elegant, like, show-offy bow. And then he makes his exit. As he makes his exit, he goes sort of like out and around the back, claims his key, and goes up to the second floor. The final member of this fellowship makes their entrance into the tavern. Jake, which character are you bringing here tonight?
I think we'll keep Salfos in the mix, so he's obviously lurking in that area still.
Okay. So, the other barding of the party, Salfos, enters the tavern, and being the observant roguester that he is, quickly notices Vidar and Nela, and Thea. Though it's been a while since you've seen Thea, it takes you like a good long stare, like, I think I know you? Oh my god, I haven't seen you since high school!
He's starting to grow in some facial hair. He's over the 20s hump. He's grown a bit older from.
Yeah. So yeah, you make your way into the heavily crowded bar. You sort of like do that dance across, holding beers, trying to get across, and you find people that you are familiar with.
Yes, and you said you are... I don't think Ceawin actually got to introduce you unless I missed it.
Who?
I'm referring to Vali.
Oh, I forgot he was there too. This is Vali. He's Ceawin's dad or something. Seems
Captain
cool.
of Esgaroth.
Oh, well, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance also. I am Thea of Westmarch, Knight's Guard to the King of Rohan, Diplomat to the King of Rohan, and Emissary to Chieftain Nela, who you just met, of Mountain Hall. There's more to that title, but I won't get there.
Are you still
Lady
king?
of many talents, got it. Pleasure to meet you, Thea.
Well, I appreciate that, thank you. Is that... Is that Salfos?
Who?
Vidar,
Yes,
am I
it is
correct in that?
Salfos.
Vidar's getting old.
Is everyone
Salfos!
checking their ages?
Yeah, Vidar's now 127.
I had to do the math too. So
I mean-
Nela is
I'm
now
30.
37. Nela is 37. Thea is now 27. And I was like, oh, my characters!
So dwarves can live a healthy life up to 250 on average. So he's not old yet. He's middle-aged.
Oh man, Salfos is a young guy. He's only 23.
But they usually stop adventuring at like 100.
Young blood.
Yeah. Nela should be completely done adventuring, but who cares?
Who cares? Old adventurers. Let's have some more old people adventurers.
Yeah, why not?
Old people.
I forgot my dentures! Salfos!
Hello, Master Dwarf. It's been some time. You are still running about, I see.
Yeah! Nothing's managed to put me down yet. Viglin's been the closest, and it wasn't even him.
I see. And is that Thea?
Hi! It has been such a long time. You seem to be doing well.
It's also Nela.
Yes. Oh, yes, and Lady and Nela. It's good to see
No,
you again.
Nela.
Nela.
Who's a Nelia?
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I made all of their names similar. I get it.
It's worse because two of them now are in the same scene.
I
Right,
know. I was.
exactly.
Fuck.
We have Thea, Nela, Vali, Vidar in the same scene.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but Vali and Vidar at least.
Yeah, Vali and Vidar, I
They
can-
have a V and a vowel following it. Like we're relatively okay.
You'd be surprised though. I mean, if you guys are watching in Exandria Unlimited,
am.
everyone's going crazy over Dorian and Dariax. Anyways.
Yes, it's good to see you too.
I'm gonna give
been
a
some years.
big hug, one arm around each of them, to Salfos and Nela. Whichever one has Haru. I'm pretty sure that's Nela.
Nela.
Yeah,
Nela.
because
Nela.
I've known them the longest. I'm just gonna give them two big big hugs, one in each arm. I'm gonna say, oh, what are the chances we'd all be here again together?
Yes.
Seeing as
Funny.
how Dale's not much or more of a skip away, it's very common that I would be around here.
Ah,
But
well, what are the chances I'd be here?
yes, that is surprising.
On the way here, I had the most peculiar encounter with Thranduil again. But that's a story for another time.
You are still harassing the King Elf.
I mean, he saw me naked once. He can't get much worse than that.
What the fuck is wrong with this guy?
Oh, that is certainly a story for another time if you stick around.
I'm gonna need a lot more drink.
Yes, you
Oh,
will.
yes, actually, I would like one too. Where can I? Ooh.
As you request you raise your hand for one of the wait staff that are coming by to grab their attention, and the one sort of like has their back to you and like stops as they're walking by. Really loose white flowy shirt, sort of long blonde hair, and they stop, turns around, you see pointy ears. Yes, can I help you?
Do you have mead?
Vali, is that you?
Never mind.
Callan here.
Oh my god!
This is everything I wanted.
You sneak.
I really
You
wanted to see
sneaky
Brian's
bastard.
impersonation of Callan here.
Sneaky is one way, for sure, but I'm working.
Why'd you...
Oh my god.
That's quite the career you picked up.
You gotta make money somehow, don't you? Not everyone is enjoying magic tricks. Ugh.
Surprised. I, for one, am surprised. Figured you of all people would find a way to make use of your tricks.
Well, yeah, I don't have a problem making tricks. It's getting people to be entertained by them. And some of my tricks as of late have become a bit more nefarious.
Nefarious. I can only imagine.
That's a story for another time. Yes, you wanted something, a drink perhaps?
I asked if there was mead available.
I do believe there's some mead. Let me go check.
That would be wonderful, thank you.
Make it 2.
Make it
meads.
3!
Vidar, you already have a tank right there. A tankard right there.
But it's empty!
3 meads. I will be right back and I will make them appear before your very eyes.
Thank you. Well,
You
it's
hear
certainly...
him sort of like, you hear him sort of like yell out saying like, I need 4 tankards of mead. Quickly. Yeah, I'm getting right on it.
Oh my god, where are we? Are we in a brothel?
No, you're in a tavern. You're in a regular
no.
tavern. Regular old tavern.
Did she expand her business?
That would be a question for the good madam.
Oh god. Oh no.
A minute or so later, Callan here returns with the tankards of mead. So are you all here for the council, I assume?
Council.
Yes, that is correct. At least I am. What about the rest of you?
You look familiar as he looks towards Salfos. Have you been around Dale recently?
I have. That's where I'm from.
I must have seen you. I would never forget a cute face like yours. Now,
Oh my.
Man approves.
Does it talk? Yes, Vidar flirts with... I mean, not Vidar. Callan here flirts with us.
We're all gonna mess up our names.
listen, this job is tip-driven. So flirting is part of it.
I'm leaving.
And if I get more than the tip, then, well, that's what it is.
I'm leaving. I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
That may have been me putting words into a character's mouth that I do not own, so if I did, redact that.
Yes, and I am here for the council, and I imagine Nela and Thea are in some capacity.
Yes.
Yes, I'm here on behalf of the Woodmen. Interesting, such a mix of individuals here. Vali, are you here for business or pleasure?
Business, providing security for Lord Ceawin.
Security? Do you think something's going on here?
Better be safe than sorry.
No, fair point. I know I assume you'll all be witnessing the procession as the other lords and kings of the lands make their way in this evening.
Huh.
For me, that's
fine. I didn't
totally
want to talk
natural.
anyway.
I haven't really given that
Sorry,
much thought.
I was in mid-yawn
I just
on
got here not too long
players,
ago.
I had anticipated going to that. At least that's, I suppose, the courteous thing to do in someone my situation.
Your situation.
Well, I'm an emissary and a diplomat. I suppose the short story is that I'm used to doing that, so might as well.
You're an emissary, a diplomat, somebody who makes it their business to talk and meet people, get to know them.
Yes.
You and I can say we're in the same line of work.
I'm curious, and your line of work is just this then? I mean, I suppose that makes sense. It is one way of making friends.
I wouldn't say this is my only line of work. A floater, a freelancer. I do what I wish, go where I want.
The free spirit.
Indeed.
It's admirable.
Well, I recommend you go. From what I hear, all the people who are important will be coming through later this evening, and you can get a good glimpse at who you might have to negotiate with.
Yes. That's
Study
pretty
the
fair.
opposing side, if you will.
Well,
Maybe you should be a diplomat also.
I gotta finish my ales before I go. And he grabs one of the meads.
Yes, it's always best to do negotiations inebriated. Now, I have other tables to wait on. I will see you all later. Good luck.
Well, everyone, Thea will hold up her mead. A cheers to a reunion, shall we?
Here.
And, the Vali, the new guy.
Yeah, I was like, Vali just kind of. Vali's looking around like the kid at the new table,
I
being
mean,
like,
Is Vali with us yet? Like, I've never worked with this man. Ceawin speaks well of him.
No, but I mean, it seems to be a small world, doesn't it? He
Vali,
works for
you're
Ceawin, and
you're going to the meetings, right?
meetings?
Yeah, the negotiations, the council, the reason so many people are here.
That's wherever Lord Ceawin says I'm going, that's when I'm going.
Nela interjects. It's not all public. Some will be closed sessions, and not all of us will be allowed in. We won't really know until it happens. So we'll see.
Well, you're here, you gotta drink Vali, and I forcibly cheers his glass.
And you know what? I'll forcibly do it back.
Well, Thea, I'm going to retire to our room.
And actually, oh,
You attend the procession. I'm not going to.
that is all right.
All right.
I got you
It was
covered,
good to see you.
Chief.
Please. No. Mm-mm.
All right, that was my final one for the day.
I'll believe it when I hear it, Thea.
I know.
Vidar, Salfos, it was good to see you again.
Yeah,
Here.
it's always good to see you, Nela. Don't be a stranger.
She steps away and
Also,
turns back.
Nela,
Yes.
you haven't heard any more of our lost item, have you?
Heard of it? No.
Okay, I'll let you know.
Unfortunately.
I'll let you know if anything comes up.
I will speak privately.
Yes. Ah, let's
Stay
drink.
out of trouble. And she walks off.
oh fuck.
Leaders of the free world business. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
And as the tavern gets boisterous at times and the levels of noise just sort of ebb and flow, time wears on. You all have a meal, get to know each other, and as the sun sort of begins to arch over, probably roughly 5 o'clock in the evening or afternoon, depending on how you look at that. I don't know what your cutoff is. You start hear people saying like, the procession's gonna start soon. We should everyone get out. The procession. The king is coming. The king is coming. And everyone starts slowly filtering out and heading towards like the main roadways of Esgaroth, out into the main square where all the merchants are set up. And as I assume, you lot, make your way out as well to view who all is arriving at this hour. You make your way out and find a spot. And as you are getting situated, this is where we're going to take a 5-minute break.
Ayo.
This is where we're going to take our break. Not 5 minutes. Don't hold us to that. It's not in writing. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Hail, adventurer! Are you a dungeon master with a desire to transport your players to fantastical settings? Perhaps they are deep in the dungeon of a mad lich.
Fools, you have intervened for the last time. Let's see you survive my fireball.
Or perhaps the party has just come across bandits, and the Goliath monk releases a flurry of blows and a stunning strike to gain control of the conflict. Nice rolls on the attack. Or maybe the party is taking a breather after another difficult quest. If this sounds like something you want at your next ttrpg session, then head over to battlebards.com. By subscribing to BattleBards Prime, you get the ability to immerse your players in your campaign. You'll get complete streaming access to the libraries of both BattleBards and Platemail games. And whether your game is in person or virtual, you won't be limited, as you will have access to a caster and a mixer to be able to broadcast the tracks to all of your players. And of course, if you want to download and keep any tracks, then you get 20% off all in-store purchases. So what are you waiting for, adventurer? A quest posting at the local guild hall? Get over to battlebards.com and subscribe today, and use the coupon code ADVENTURE at checkout. Stay proficient, adventurers.
Welcome back, everyone. Just a quick note, yes, there is apparently a typo in the schedule. Fridays are 5:30, not 8. Apologies for that. And tomorrow night for Mini Paint and Chat, that will not be happening, unfortunately, this week. However, that will be the normal schedule. This week is a little unique. So sorry if you're looking forward to that. You can catch it next week. But that is that. I believe that was the only thing we had for that. So let's get right back into it. So the four of you sort of make your way out of the tavern towards. You see people starting to line the streets, opening up gaps for entourage and VIPs to make their way through. You know, it's sort of like the red carpet. People are pulling up in limos, getting out, making their little waves to the crowd and processing.
Princess wave.
You screwing a light bulb? Hello? Hello? Smile and wave.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
And of course, if you're a Warforged, you could just do. So, you make your way out through the market and towards like one of the main roads. Heavily congested and packed. There are children sort of like laughing and running around. There's that occasional child that just suddenly like builds up and screams really high pitched and comes back down, and everyone just sort of goes, but doesn't really do anything about it. And you hear sort of like trumpets in the distance notifying that individuals are arriving, though not quite sure who it is yet. Somebody dropped something in that soundscape. After some time, you see down the road a host of about 4 armored dwarves carrying sort of like not halberds, but sort of like what would be equal to their stature. And they're sort of like in that very edged off stone-like armor, and behind them riding sort of what looks to be like a what's the word? Stout mountain goat, really rounded mountain goat, is King Dane. As people sort of like cheer as he rides by, but it would seem that King Dane has arrived to take part in the Council of the North to represent the Lonely Mountain and Erebor and the line of Durin.
So this is 4 dwarves and King Dane?
Appearing to be like his guard.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, four honor guard, essentially, if you want to call them that, and King Dane. Atop his mighty battle goat.
Let's go with things I never thought I'd hear for 500, Alex.
Is there like any news of recent or whatnot that could be beneficial to know about King Dane in terms of like negotiations for this or whatever that like either Nela or Thea might know? I guess particularly Thea, since I'm not Nela.
I was gonna say Nayla's not here.
Right.
News. You don't have the news from afar feature, do you?
I have.
That's Nela, right?
I do have something as a warden though, which actually might come into this.
Okay.
I do have Ever Watchful.
Okay.
Which is speak with locals and travelers.
Locos.
Yes.
4 of them.
Locals and and
No.
travelers for latest news and insight. So it's a D12 investigation check with advantage. So I mean,
Okay.
I don't know if I can utilize that right now to like try to pick up whispers here and there of what people are talking about as King Dane's walking through. Anything that might come in handy for negotiations later on.
You can certainly try as people are just processing by. I mean, you're in a big crowd. If you just want to turn to the person to your right and be like, "What's his deal?"
Airline
food, am I right?
Yeah, I mean, Thea, yeah, why not? Thea will do that. Way more politely and less suspiciously than I could ever try to roleplay, but yeah.
Okay, so like you're asking about Dane specifically, or just anybody regarding
I mean,
the council?
I do plan on kind of trying to do this with everybody just to be quote unquote armed for the council in terms of diplomacy and negotiation. So if you want me to wait to do it as a whole for everybody, I can. So I'm not wasting everybody's time constantly asking the same question for each person.
Dice rolls are never a waste of time.
Well,
We're here to roll dice.
well, okay, or interrupt your narrative or whatever.
I am narrating things, and if you come to a point, there is like, teacher, that's the point. That's the
Right.
point. Just
Okay.
don't interrupt my monologues, for fuck's sake.
All right, I mean,
Unless
yeah.
it's like I punch him in the face. It's like,
Then
planning
yeah.
this monologue for years, you son of a bitch.
Then Thea's gonna
Just
start
going up.
doing.
Okay.
Thea will start doing her own version of intel gathering then about all of these people that she will likely have to converse with diplomatically the next few days. And she'll even ask like Vali and Vidar and Salfos too if they happen to know anything of recent.
Okay. Go ahead and give me that investigation check.
Okie dokies. So with the full feature, so at advantage, or just a general investigation if this is a little different than what the feature is?
Is the feature limited by a long rest or anything?
That's a good question. I don't have that written down, therefore I don't believe so.
Okay. Well then, I don't see why you wouldn't use it. So yeah, go ahead
Okay.
at advantage.
Okie dokies.
If it was at like a short or a long rest, then I'd say you might want to pick and choose.
Right.
23. Okay.
Ooh. As I drop my tablet pen.
You sort of like lean over to the side, sort of play coy, like because you're dressed like a Rohirrim right now. So you, for the most part, appear somewhat foreign. You stick out, so you sort of play into that. You lean over to somebody and you point out at the dwarf on top of the goat, which is a strange sight to you.
Yeah.
The only other
It's
dwarf
no
you've
war
met-
horse.
Yeah, the only other dwarves you met were Vidar, Frar, and then the ones that helped reclaim the Great Elf at the time.
Right.
And none of them rode goats. So you point him
Meh.
out, and you're like, who's he? Like, I don't know. I'm from out of town. I'm just here to see the sights.
I'm the tourist. Hi.
And an older woman explains, well, it's King Dane. It's the king under the mountain for the dwarves. Their home is in Erebor, where you can just see the lonely mountain from where you are. And in conversation, you sort of ask, like, well, do the dwarves have any issues? Like, why are they attending the council? Yada, yada, yada. And she gives you a bit more of a background on the council itself. How it was initially established at the end of the Battle of Five Armies between Bard, Dane, and Thranduil to help broker peace between the three and encourage good tidings between all the kingdoms. And that this is sort of, Dane is here because it's sort of like his role to be here. But that being said, she's heard that the dwarves, for the most part, seem complacent. They have some internal affairs that they might want help with. But Dane is mostly going to advise on decisions for the betterment of the North as a whole. You can kind of, in Lindsay speak, you can think of this as like the European Union, essentially.
Right.
Like no,
Right.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Like Dane might be like Belgium, who's like in charge, but Belgium has no issues right now, so he's going to make decisions based on the good of all of Europe.
Yep.
Is probably the
Okie-dokies.
best analogy I could come up with for that.
Okie dokies.
But that's what she knows.
Okay. I am writing all the notes.
Notes. Shortly after Dane passes, a couple of tall, fair folk in sort of like browns and golds, and some dark greens are processing by that appear to be elven. Among them, Vidar, you would recognize Ruthiel.
Ah!
Oh, do I do too?
You met her? I can't keep track.
I'm gonna elbow
Yeah.
Vali though, and I'm just gonna say, hey, that elf right there, that's Mathan's girlfriend. Her name's Ruthiel.
I look and I just go, okay.
You hear from like
How's
you hear from like across town Ceawin. Nice.
How's
Do I see?
how's her face? Like does she have a scar now?
From where you're standing, you don't immediately see anything visible. She does sort of like turn to look at the crowd, and you see the left side of her face. There's like a scar beneath the eye, and her left eye is completely whited over.
Oh.
Next to her is a fairly tall elf, in relative terms. The elves are tall; it's just what they are. But he has a bit of a larger build than the rest. He seems not to be so like lanky and dexterous. He seems to be a bit more strength. But you do notice as they are walking that he is missing his right arm, and that his face and neck also seem to have deep scars.
Oh.
You just heard Mathan from across the land. The fuck?
Who's that?
And then there's accompanying them a couple of other elven emissaries, but they they're the most notable.
Thranduil's not with them, is he?
Thranduil is not here.
Dang
Oh,
it! I was
I
gonna
wrote
bug
his
him.
name down. Oops.
You see these elves that appear to be the emissaries of the Elven King, but you notice the absence of the Elven King.
Vidar just crosses his arms. He says, Thranduil must have known I was gonna be here and avoided me intentionally. I have to go pay
Yes,
him a
Vidar.
visit.
He's afraid of seeing you again in your skivvies.
I'm sorry, what?
Don't worry about it.
I feel like I should be.
All right, well then, Vidar, you can tell him this story as I keep lurking about. Am I knowledgeable of the resolution and things coming to terms after the Great Elf ending and Thranduil's assistance with it? Like, did he end up getting like that treasure and whatnot that was agreed upon to him? And was it like all an ending on good terms, or?
The dwarves were to their word, as were the elves.
Okay.
The we'll say toll that was due at the end of the Great Elf was paid, and that was that.
Okay.
To the best of your knowledge, there was no further ill will between one another than what there was at the beginning.
Okay. Okie dokies.
As the elves process on by, seemingly being led by the two, Ruthiel and the injured one.
Do we recognize him? all?
Give me an insight check.
Oh, that's not my tablet. Ah, okay.
You do not. You're not sure if it is the heavy scarring and wounding that may have swayed the visual that you may have knew him by, but you can't place a name or a face really.
Okay.
But they appear to be here to represent King Thranduil.
Would
And they continue on.
Okay.
Yes. No questions, comments, concerns.
Would they be just as potentially concerned about what was it that happened in the 1 year? Like the growing. You just talked about it at the beginning of the stream, like the growing darkness or something. I think it was. Oh, that was Southern Mirkwood, though.
The Black Rain in Southern Mirkwood.
Mm-hmm.
They could be.
Okay. I'll figure it out. I'll do my own. I'll keep going. I'm
All
afraid
right,
of asking too many questions now.
It's fine. You can be as investigative as you want. Everybody can. It's whether or not the characters are like, do I care? That's what it is.
No, Thea's totally in like investigative diplomat mode of like, what can I anticipate will happen and how can I respond?
Well, there is one thing for sure that Thea probably has a sigh of relief about it. She doesn't see Thranduil. She knows at this point. She knows at this point in time that he will not be personally at a negotiating table conducting talks.
Oh,
And he in Thea's mind has been notorious for, I am wiser than thee. I know what is to happen here, and I know my way is the correct one. So whatever you propose, I will not go for.
Yes, she is fully aware of the story that Nela gave her
Heard that
about
before.
Nela first meeting Thranduil.
Well, Thea's interacted with him several times.
Yes, that didn't go as
So-
well initially either.
Yeah.
Once or twice.
So, yeah. So maybe Thea sees the elves and goes, "Oh, thank God."
Okay.
So the elves process on by, and there's chattering and remarks about how the Elven King isn't here. But most people are going, the elves, such fair creatures. Some hold a little disdain for him. But for most, at this point in their lives, the Battle of Five Armies is a distant memory. So, while the elves came to their aid several years ago, the elves remember it vividly, but most people here are going, that's ancient history. So, some people aren't as closely tied to the elves as they once were. Following that, about three sort of rugged individuals draped in hides and leathers, carrying hunting equipment, are processing through, and behind them is a towering figure that most of you know all too well as Bjorn.
Uncle Bjorn!
Seemingly the
waves
Lord
of the crowd.
Seemingly the Lord of the Karoks has made his way through Mirkwood to come all the way here for the Council of the North. To whether discuss matters of the Bjornings or offer counsel. Who's to say? But Bjorn is here along with a handful of Bjornings.
Is it
Following... Yes? Is it
is it fairly well known, the skirmishes, or at least the new kind of recent one between England?
Not on this side of Mirkwood, not really.
Okay.
Not a whole lot of people travel through the elf path. The elves might be aware. The Woodmen are probably aware.
Right.
Obviously being Nela and Ceawin. But a lot of Bardings and probably the dwarves, they might have heard whispers, but they probably don't know to like what extent it got to. Obviously, you could probably assume that had Vigland held on to that western gate,
Yeah.
absolutely Thranduil would have known. And that would have caused a whole nother thing.
Right. Okay.
But the Bjornings process on through, and you hear several, like, people going, Bjorn, the skin changer. Bjorn, the killer of Bolg. He's seen, like, as a mythical being, like a hero from the past. People are quite excited to see the mythical skin changer in their midst.
He's gonna be the talk of the town.
He currently is, for sure.
Vidar just is like trying to wave, get his attention.
You just see him like sort of look over, and he doesn't like bring up the full hand. He just kind of goes.
You only saw me.
He
guys.
shows like
You got.
he knows two emotions: contempt and anger. So it's just like, yeah, hi, I see you.
Oh my god, he saw me.
No, he saw me. He saw me.
I know. I'm pretending I'm playing as. No, I was just
Bjorn,
playing.
could I get your autograph?
Yeah, like when you see a celebrity and you get like that quick glance and you're like,
Like he's a sports player. Sport ball. So,
No idea who the fuck that is, but okay.
Ollie, you've got to get out more. What does Ceawin have you doing?
Protecting Sunstead.
That's boring.
Says you.
a simple life.
Maybe you can introduce us later, Vidar.
Preceding them,
Or not,
you
okay.
you see several individuals dressed in vibrant, colorful robes, navy blues, maroons, gold trim. Some of them have like their hoods up, but most of them are down, and they're sort of like trimmed beards. A couple of women among them donning colorful jewelry, leather pouches lining off to their side. You're not entirely sure who these individuals might be. Probably merchants. Might be some merchant guild that has their hand in politics to some extent.
Oh no.
What?
I'm just guessing who it is.
I mean, there's no one really standing out amongst them, really. Thea has met the person you're thinking of, and you do not see him.
Dang.
Yeah, you do not see him. Not currently. But everyone, for the most part, is like, okay, who are they? I don't... Whatever. And they process on through. Maybe they just sort of walked in like, what's going on here?
Oh, are we in a parade?
Oh, this is embarrassing.
Act cool.
But after that, coming on through is probably about 6 individuals on foot, decently armored. They almost look like soldiers or militia to an extent, carrying weapons and armor that seem to be heavily used, and 2 individuals on horseback behind them. And most of you, for the most part, recognize one of them on horseback as Mogdred.
Oh my god. Oh no. Wait, I don't think...
Thea has not met him.
No. She's heard much.
Oh, I'm sure she's heard a lot.
She's heard
Wait,
much
who
between
went to Dol Guldur with Callan here?
Anelia.
Anelia. Okay.
Anelia and Vali.
So Anelia
Interakron.
knows of like the intel that everyone found at Dol Guldur, but if you guys remember, they met Nela and Lorien with Galadriel. So you guys were able to basically share that intel with Nela, essentially. So Nela knows all of that.
Who invited this fucker?
Oh, if Nela was here right now, oh jeez.
back in
Or
her
is she-
hotel room, just like looking at her phone, going, "I don't want to be here."
Do I?
Oh no.
I want to try and see if I can spy any place he might have the orb hidden on him if he has it with him. I know that's gonna be very
Ooh,
hard from
that's
this
a good
distance
idea.
because he has it on
Okay.
him. He's gonna have it packed away.
Okay.
But maybe I can get an idea.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Oh!
Natural 20.
Oh!
Yes.
Natural 20. As he is riding through, you see the horse has 2 saddlebags, and everything from what you can see, Vidar, weapons being the exception, are concealed. So you don't see it.
Yeah.
You can only make guesses at what. Does he have anything on him that could, in theory, hold something of that size? And you see the saddlebags definitely fit that description. And he has strung across his chest that sort of goes down to his right hip near his sword is a larger leather sack. So those are sort of the immediate things that you point out, like
Okay.
either the saddlebags or that pack. If he has it, it's in one of those. Everything else is sort of like either smaller or it's just out in the open, like a weapon or a shield
Yeah.
or something.
Huh. I don't know this person. What is the chatter sounding like around me? Do other people recognize him?
They don't recognize him. They're a little put off by the overall appearance of him and his entourage. The armor, for sure, some people might point out, seems to be orcish or goblin. The initial inclination is this a Woodmen emissary? Is
Okay.
this just somebody from a far land that opened or accepted the open envoy invitation? They're not entirely sure. Anything beyond that, you would have to investigate further. But that's like just passively listening what your general
Okay.
chatter is.
Is Dangmar among the envoy?
Vidar's still trying to smash.
She is the other rider.
Figures.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so there's 2 riders and about
Ow,
6
ow.
on foot.
Am I able?
Are you able to?
I was.
Audio.
Do you guys know who this is?
Oh, it's Mogdred.
Yeah,
He's an
his name's
asshole.
Mogdred.
Oh, that's Mordred.
What the dwarf said.
Okay.
So this is the infamous Mogdred I can finally see in person.
Same.
He stole an item from me that I want to get back.
Yes, I accidentally got Nela drunk one night and she told me all about it.
Wow, Nela, loose lips much?
No, she was having a bad day, so I made her. It took a while. Several hours, actually. But that's beside the point.
What?
Nothing.
I have any idea what the fuck is going on with this group.
I'm sure you have stories of your own. You've adventured, right?
Yes, I have.
You look like you have, at the very least. None of this can be too,
I would like to try and steal that item back.
Yeah, but I never hear people this surprised or this angry at multiple things like this.
That's why you gotta get out more, Vali. You don't know anything of the world.
I get out plenty.
Oh, what? Out of your bed to guard Ceawin? Come on.
Well, Vidar, and I'm sure Salfos might be interested in an idea to perhaps later tonight or something we can try to think of how to procure that back for the sake of many people. I do have to be careful. I am a diplomat here, but I also know that I am less limited to certain actions than Nela, to an extent. But let's see how negotiations go first.
The DM is
No, I got two things that went through my brain. I'm gonna do the second one first. As after she said, "Let's see how negotiations go," I was like, throw up a screen. 5 minutes later, Vidar. I guess that concludes negotiations. Or you might say the negotiations were short. The other one is when she said, "I have to be careful. I'm a diplomat." I was waiting for Kevin to chime in, like, "I got diplomatic immunity. Can't touch this."
So Hammer, you can't sue.
I got diplomatic immunity.
But it is finally nice to see who this man is that now many of my friends have been nonstop discussing.
Can jaywalk on the street and touch your sister's tea. Can't touch me.
I'm not gonna ask any questions about him because I got all the notes you gave me for her and for Nela and Thea, so I think I know
Cool.
plenty.
You know what Nela knows.
Unless he
essentially,
seems happy to be here for whatever reason, but I assume he's
Mogdred's
all
never
moody.
happy.
then. Give me an insight check.
Oh.
You asked. Does he seem happy? Well,
I guess as part of the insight, well, I guess as part of the insight check, can I also ask if I might be able to determine any sort of like intention of him being here, like why he might be here as to present himself and like Tyrant's Hill as the council.
You can certainly try to discern that just based off of his body language and
And
appearance.
what I know, I guess. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you can certainly try. That's going to be a very difficult thing to discern.
I'm sure. I'm gonna try anyways. Ooh!
Ooh, 25.
Ooh.
Hey, you know what's funnier than 24?
Let me hear it. Didn't we do that in one of Reel's classes too?
Probably. we were little dicks.
Who wasn't in
couldn't-
high school?
But he couldn't separate us because we did the work.
Bingo. That's the key, kids. Goof off. You can goof off in class. Just do the work, and they can't do a thing about it.
My friend and I did that.
That's what Kevin and I did.
There was one class, Brian, I just strictly lost our shit laughing, and he's like, I can't separate you two because you guys do the work.
Does he look happy? He's content. I mean, you don't see like a negative emotion immediately on his face. His body language is he sits upright in his saddle. He seems to be having sort of like idle conversation with the rider next to him.
Okay.
Doesn't seem to be you're trying to pick up on like micro expressions and
Yeah.
body language, and he doesn't seem to give off anger or contempt or anything at this point. He seems about as neutral as you probably could possibly picture.
Weird.
Every now and again, as he is having an idle conversation, he has his head tilted towards the other rider as they respond, and you see him like crack a smile and chuckle, and then like refocus on the road as they're moving forward. But
Okay.
you don't get the vibe of him like looking out at the crowd and going, "Look at these worms."
Okay. And I assume then nothing in terms of like any sort of inkling or assumption as to why.
No,
They might be
really
here.
hard to tell.
Okay.
There's nothing. They're not carrying picket signs or
Fair.
anything like that.
Down with the folk moot.
Down with the folk mood, up with tyrants.
Yes. Okay.
Crossed out. That's not what we mean. Second panel. That's just the unfortunate name of the place. Good?
Yep.
Any other questions about this procession section?
I guess not.
I can't steal it from the procession, so I gotta wait.
You're not gonna try and stealth out? They're going dun 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 dun.
This isn't Callan here.
Fine, you're not gonna throw your hammer and knock him off his horse and go, grab it and run!
Oh my god, just make a scene.
That is Vidar's strategy.
Okay, they process on through. And much like I said, the idle chatter is, they don't really know who he is. And the procession in and of itself is informal. It's not like it's a planned parade like
Yeah.
more important people. It's just most people tend to arrive the day before, and this is usually when it happens. So I am getting static. Is that just me?
No, I hear it too.
Oh wait, now I hear it. Yeah.
Oh, it might be, hopefully not me. I have a fan going. Does that sound like it?
It's probably your fan.
Hold on. I'm gonna mute
Houston, we have
myself.
a
Let me know if
problem.
the static goes away.
You're good. Yep.
Rip.
You're okay, as long as we know what it is.
Yeah. I was making sure I wasn't going crazy.
Yeah. Well, I get to, it will be a pleasure to let Nela know that he's here. I don't think she knew he was coming. I don't think any of us knew, to be honest.
Do you think Nela would be pissed if we ruined the negotiations?
It depends on how they are ruined, Vidar. If they are ruined especially against her intentions, most likely. But if it ends up being a, what's the word? If it ends up being a situation where it still doesn't necessarily harm her or her intentions, I can't say she'll complain. You know her.
Vidar, as you ask that question, like right alongside you, Liam Neeson appears and says, "Be mindful of your emotions, Padawan."
Actually, Vali, have you heard about the nearby incidents in Sunstead of those of Woodmen who are trying to travel between Sunstead and through Mirkwood?
I've heard of that.
Did I?
Vali?
Yeah, did I?
I'm sorry. I was reading something. What?
Did I
were you
hear
asking,
about it?
Vali?
I asked.
Did I
Go
hear
ahead,
about the
Kevin.
incidents that's happening to the Woodmen between traveling Sunstead
Yes.
and Mirkwood?
Yes. Sorry, I did not actually get you Vali knowledge. I apologize.
That's okay. I just want to make sure it's like, did I hear that?
Yeah. No. Living in Sunstead. At a certain point, like a year or so ago, a lot of people in Sunstead and the Black Tarn, and if I have to go back to the world map, I will if we need to. Between Sunstead and the Black Tarn, a lot of Woodmen travel through Mirkwood, through the narrows of the forest, to get from one settlement to the other for trade purposes and what have you. Recently, part of that pathway has become treacherous. It does cut through the Tyrant's Hill's territory, and the men of Tyrant's Hill have started imposing tolls for people to come through their lands. This is more of an annoyance than anything. This is a well-traveled section through the forest. While Mirkwood is inherently dangerous, this is deemed safer than most routes. But the tolls are an annoyance, and not everyone traveling has the money to pay it. There were a few incidents where people refused to pay, and it turned violent. However, those were the minority of events. A lot of people either refused to pay and turned around, or paid and went on their merry way. The ones that turned violent were mostly hand-to-hand confrontations. No one at this point has been killed over this. But yes,
Okay.
You have heard and you are aware.
Okay, so then I'll pretty much respond. Basically, just kind of like summarizing what you said towards her. It's like, I did hear about all of that going on.
Well, then I suppose, if anything, you can thank that man for all of that.
Ah, that's the dick.
Oh, well, not exactly biased.
That's a dick.
Good to know. Or maybe I am. Maybe we all are. But
How big was Mogdred's entourage?
Including Dagmar?
Including Dagmar, in total.
7.
7?
7.
oh, because 6 individuals on foot and then the 2 of them.
Yes. So if you're not
Okay.
counting Mogdred and you're just counting everyone else, it was 7.
7.
Those were
Gotcha.
the ones in the procession that marched past you.
Alrighty.
All right. As you're having this discussion, a couple of minutes pass by, and you hear in the distance like a ringing of like a bell. Ding, 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 ding. You hear some shouting down the way, and you see a man marching up the a lone man marching up the street. And as he gets closer and the bell gets louder, you hear him saying, "Make way for the king! King is coming through! Everyone stay where you are! Make way for the king!" And he keeps marching. And as you look down the road, you see sort of like flower petals falling from the balconies of the homes that are lining the street, almost looking in like snow from the distance. As you get closer, you see probably the largest entourage so far that you've seen. There's about 4 children that appear to be flower people that are just going, "Wee, yeah, yeah." We're here because our parents told us to, because it's good for them. I don't understand it, but yeah, I like throwing
One child
things.
looks at the flower and just eats it.
It's kind of like those social media videos of like the flower guy instead of the flower girl. Play like the sassy music in the background.
Behind them, marching in 2 rows of 6, Vali, you would recognize the distinct look of the fine polished leather and distinct longbows. Actually, Salfos, you would recognize this as well as the royal bowmen of Dale. Essentially, the royal guard.
Oh, been a while since I've seen those boys. And girls, just in case.
Kevin's characters has made that mistake multiple times. Fior is one of them. Come here, not a guy. Oh.
I'm gonna go wait outside then.
Behind them are 3 mounted knights in sort of plate armor atop their horses. And behind them are 2 other horses, one on top of that one, on top of a white horse actually, dressed in a deep maroon, trimmed with gold thread, and a bit of a long dress. She's riding side saddle. She has long auburn hair that is sort of braided down, whom we haven't seen before, but she is quite attractive to most. Fair skin, a bit tanner than most people around here, but from most of the chatter, you can infer that this is Queen Una.
They've only been
Queen
married for a few years, right?
Queen Una the Fair.
I'll say.
I remember when they got married.
I was gonna say, I remember Vidar going, "Oh, they got married."
I still say the same about you guys.
Yeah, around like 2948, 2949, roughly, is when she became queen. Essentially, she was. Oh well, that's up to a check if anyone cares.
I'm interested.
Make a lore check.
Hey, 26.
26.
This is the stuff she's made for.
Yeah, prior to her title of Queen Una the Fair, she was a merchant princess of Darwinian. In that she captured the heart of King Bard and the folk of Dale and some neighboring kingdoms like Erebor.
Of Darwinian?
Of Darwinian. Darwinian is a region.
Gotcha.
She has been known to hold true to that old title as a merchant princess, rubbing elbows and making negotiations with a lot of the merchant powers within the region. She's almost seen more as like a businesswoman than she would be a queen.
Okay. So
But the
she's
people
still
love her.
doing like merchant business, basically.
She might not do it in and of herself, like directly. She doesn't own a business, but how she treats like trade negotiations between kingdoms and even the merchants within those kingdoms.
Just
like
with higher priority.
Yeah, every merchant that operates within Dale, she probably knows them.
Okay.
It's like her business to know who it is.
Gotcha. Alrighty.
With that lore check as well, what was it, a 25?
26, I think? Yes.
26. She's known to have an outgoing demeanor, gentle wisdom, and sharp business instincts, which seem to complement the opposites of her husband, the king. She has earned the nickname among most in the region as the Darwinian Gift.
Okay.
And riding alongside her, in sort of dark browns and a couple of some navy blue as well, as if royalty, but still holding on to a peasantry, simple type of person. Medium length down to the shoulder, black hair, and stubble of facial hair. You see, for the first time, King Bard. And strewn across his back is a longbow.
Cool.
That's a big bow.
The
Is
biggest.
his role similar at all to like the elves and the dwarves, where it's kind of like I'm just here for the tradition of it, or is Bard and his representation more active?
Are you making conversation?
Yeah, she's still doing all of this, and I guess that's what I'm trying to find out.
Investigation check.
Okie dokies.
That's the check the ability has, correct?
Yes, so it's a DC 12 and it's with advantage. Once I learn my ABCs and find this, there we go. 22.
22. Okay. You, through talking with people, you could pretty much gather that Bard is here because the original council was held in Dale, and he voluntarily wanted it held here, outside, air quotes, outside of his kingdom, because he didn't want to be seen as if he was grabbing at power.
Gotcha.
He is here because he is seen sort of like as the hegemony in the region, between Erebor and Esgaroth. There's a lot of people in Lake Town that view him as their king, even though they're not technically part of Dale.
Okay.
Lake Town has the master, but he sometimes will look to Bard for decisions. So he's here sort of to be like at the head of the whole thing. A lot of issues that might arise might directly concern Dale or Lake Town, and he wants to be seen as not necessarily the decision maker, but a voice and somebody to help guide the region.
Okay. Cool.
The moments pass. No one else seems to come, and there's a little chatter that the rumors of one of the wizards would arrive, but they haven't shown. And some people are muttering that why aren't they here? Why did they abandon us? Do they have more important business? I was looking forward to seeing one of the wizards, but from what you guys observed, Radagast or Gandalf definitely haven't come through, at least not in any fantastical manner. If they are here, no one's seen them. But the procession goes on through the town square, or the merchant square, on through the other side of Lake Town, and eventually goes all the way to Town Hall, which would be there, where the initial folk, being Dane, Bard, and the Elven emissaries, retire into the Town Hall and speak privately, knowing that the council doesn't begin until tomorrow, and everyone else sort of disperses for lodging, drink, food, and the evening is yours.
Okay, so we gotta find out where Mogdred's lodging is. I'm not saying we do anything right away. I just want to know where it is. Knowledge is power.
I believe that's fair enough, and I agree that knowledge is power. We just need to be careful about it.
Also, muscles are power.
We'll start with the knowledge. I know you aren't. I believe, if I remember correctly, Salfos is. Vali, are you sneaky also?
Yes.
Perhaps then we can utilize the skills you two have to maybe be quiet about what we are trying to figure out. If you are in, or actually, should we?
I have a particular.
We can trust Salfos. Do you like this guy, Vali? Well, you did call him a dick earlier, so would you be into knowing where his lodging is just to be safe?
Yeah, he's a dick. Might as well.
Salfos, you can find out where he's staying, right?
Can we count on the two of you?
Oh, you can count on Salfos. He was with me at the Great Elf.
Well, yes, I was there too. I can definitely count on him.
You can count on me.
Cool. Actually, I have a question now that I think about it, because you're in Sunstead, and Ceawin is here, and I know back in oh no, what's the name? During the folk moot and whatnot, right? Was it during the folk moot that it was found out that Ceawin was going to represent his own people?
Yeah.
Essentially, he opted. Ingemer refrained from doing it. Most looked at Ceawin, mostly probably out of regional reasons.
Okay.
It would be easier for him to get there. And yeah, Ceawin sort of declined, saying that he didn't feel right representing the Woodmen as a whole.
Gotcha. So do you know why Ceawin is here on behalf of his own people? Why he declined to represent the Woodmen as a whole?
Well, from what he told me, we're just here to secure trade routes.
Trade routes?
Mm-hmm.
Do I believe him?
Insight check? Thea, trade routes? I don't know anything about no trade routes.
No one wants trade routes.
I just met you. You better be telling me the truth. We want this relationship to start off good, Vali. I don't believe your trade routes. Where do you think we are in Naboo? Making lots of Star Wars references tonight, aren't you?
Oh, I wish I wasn't laughing so hard, so that would be a clear clip.
18. Vali, are you lying?
No.
Yeah, no.
Let's make it sure.
Seems honest enough. I mean, based on his title and how Ceawin introduced him as captain, whether he's knowingly telling the truth or Ceawin didn't give him everything, it's hard to say. But based on what Vali knows, yeah, he's just here because making sure trade goes well.
So more like to to secure trade routes essentially, not establish them, or
Well,
both, or...
I'm more so here as security, lass. Okay. I'm not here to negotiate. I'm just
Then
here to
how
negotiate
about-
with the tip of my sword.
I
Okay.
How about you
understand.
secure the item that was stolen from me?
I understand. I
And
just
what
wanted
the
to...
fuck was stolen from you?
I
It's-
just wanted to make sure that I knew everything I needed to about why he is here, since he made a declaration back with the rest of the Woodmen.
It's a dark glass orb. About yay big. Like a watermelon size.
Just a glass orb.
Yes, it is very valuable to me, personally.
Why does he have it? Why does he want it?
It's a long story. I went to ask him for help. He knew I had it on me, and then he took it from me and kicked me out. That's the long
What?
short of it.
What does it do?
It's a magic glass orb.
Okay. Fuck it. Alright. If you
I mean,
want
it's not
it
a
and
magic
he
glass
wants
orb.
it,
It's a
I'm
mundane orb made of glass.
So I think perhaps...
I'll just smash it.
We'll walk that back.
Did I, as the procession was ending, did we happen to see which direction Mogdred and his men may have gone if everyone dispersed to lodging? Or
did you
what have
follow? Did you follow the procession all the way to town hall?
I would have at the very least, I guess, to just watch it to the end.
So the town hall district is roughly here. Everyone else other than Bard, Dane, and the elves sort of dispersed out into this region, E for those looking at this part of the map. And a few headed back towards this region.
I
They
see
sort
the
of
map of Lake Town. I don't see E.
E is the residential district, upper left-hand corner.
Oh, I see it now. Okay.
Yes, do not let the fact that there's a mouse in the screenshot confuse you.
Yeah, because I don't see, like, if you were
why is
pinging,
it
I didn't
so
see
red?
it.
Oh, I'm on the... Yeah, there we go. Whoop.
Yeah, okay.
I was on GM layer, sorry. Most people dispersed out into E, which was like the residential district. Some
Okay.
did head back out this direction. Though Mogdred and his people kind of stick out like a sore thumb for lack of a better term.
Yeah,
They went in the residential district.
okay.
So it would be a matter of following them when they dispersed. Otherwise, it'd just be trying to find them again.
I mean,
Okay.
people are gonna be talking. People are gonna. It's not gonna
They
be
have
hard
to be
find
getting
them.
so many eyes.
The
Yeah.
town is busy. There's more people here than you've ever seen in Lake Town.
Okay. Well,
It's big to do.
we can all maybe kind of follow into there and see if we can pinpoint the location. Perhaps Salfos and Vali can be the two to actually walk in and figure it out, so to speak. But Vidar and I could at least stay outside and to not cause trouble, or, if a distraction is necessary, I'm sure we can think of one.
I can do
I say not
distraction.
cause trouble, but I know something's gonna happen. It always does with Vidar and Mathan at the very least.
Do you-
Since you're here, Vidar, it's gonna happen.
Do you two need a distraction? I can do distractions.
At that moment, as you guys are having this conversation, you hear like a screech above, and then flat
Is it
down,
Haru?
a large bird lands on top of Vidar's like right shoulder. It's Haru.
I give him scritches under the chin. Ha.
Hi, Haru.
That's a big bird.
Is your master coming downstairs or coming back? I look around. Do I see Nela?
No.
Oh.
Haru, do you know who Mogdred is? Can you, fly around and find out where he's staying?
Or perhaps just see if he and his men are outside? Or by a certain building?
One of you give me an animal handling check.
I'm proficient.
I mean, I'm not proficient, but go on.
You can do it. I don't care.
Okay.
Hey!
12. Okay. Flies up into the air. Goes off in sort of like a easternly direction. Right? What direction does the lake town face? Yeah, this is east. Yeah, this is east.
Oh, east? I thought you said
The
west.
north would be the Lonely Mountain.
you said west.
What kind of
Well, now
compass
that
you
I-
reading, lad?
Now that I think about it, I should probably inform Nela of who we saw during the procession. Although usually Haru does not stray too far from Nela, so I might just check on her really quick.
Salfos, Vali, you two never answered my question. Do you think you'll need a distraction? Because I can give one.
Distraction
I mean-
would definitely help, but
Yeah,
How about
take
this?
I'll take assistance, I think. What kind of distraction you
But
doing, lad?
I don't know where to cause the distraction. That's the problem.
yeah, we need to figure out where to go first.
I agree. I'm going to. I will be right back.
I'll trail like 100 feet behind you guys, okay? If something goes wrong and you need a distraction, just yell out biscuits. And I will make a distraction.
Aw, biscuits!
This is a foolproof plan. It cannot go wrong.
Oh no.
The last time one of Vidar's character or one of Matt's characters was here, he made the master of Lake Town think there was a ghost in his house.
Yes.
That is true.
So,
So after hearing that, Thea is going to look at all three of them and go, right, just like old times. Perfect plan. I'll be right back. And she's gonna go
Okay, let's go.
inside.
Vali Salfos.
She's
Before she
she's
comes
gonna
back.
turn around and go inside to look for Nela.
Before she comes back with Nela puts a stop to this. Let's go.
Okay.
I approve 100%.
so Thea, you're going back to the inn to find her, or just looking around?
I'm going to look for her and just basically give the, just saw Haru, wanted to see, what's up with that and what you're doing. And by the way, guess who we saw? Just like a quick, 10-minute update.
By the way, Satan's here. Did you know that?
And then I assume
My
Thea
ex
will
is
walk
here?
back outside and then no one will be here.
I'll try to push
okay.
Vali and Salfos along before she returns.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you just
10
start
minutes.
you start pushing them through the crowd, just plowing through people. Really, no manners about it.
Crazy.
Go get 100 feet ahead of me, and I'll keep up.
Fine, just get your hands off me.
All right. So the two of you head off through the crowd. You lose the dwarf in the crowd real quickly. Whether you get 20 feet away, the crowd just sort of swallows him up.
Aye.
If I start to lose them, I want to maintain the minimum distance it takes for me to see them.
Okay. Simple enough. At your height, it's like a little bit of searching past people's hips in between their legs, but there's a lot of foot
I
traffic
swear I'm
here,
not looking
but
at
you
your
can- So Vali, and Salfos, one of you at advantage can give me a survival check to try and track.
What's your survival at? Mine's a 6+.
Mine's a 5, so we can do yours.
All right, add advantage.
Every little bit helps. 11.
Hey.
Jose, can we redo that?
Whoop. No.
Oh, that reminds me, oddly enough. Stand by. I need to see if something works real quick.
Maybe you should have rolled. The dice are not with me.
I don't know. I literally had the exact same roll. I think it was my first and only roll tonight. Yeah, my Shadow Lore was the exact same roll.
You guys head out through the crowd, looking around, looking for people that sort of like match, not necessarily the description, but exactly what you saw among Mogdred's men. People that are wearing worn out armor, maybe it's rusted, jagged weapons, mishmash between like woodman attire and orc and goblin. And in the crowd, you can't really find anything. It becomes really difficult to pick up the trail. How long would you pursue this, essentially?
Spend a few hours.
Few hours. Okay.
Really
Not
hitting
giving
that
up- not giving
grind.
up. All right. Okay. Few hours. All right. So over the next few hours,
The meetings don't start till tomorrow, so
they don't. The sun begins to dip behind the misty mountains in the far west. At this point, it's reached night. The stars have come out, and the moon is sort of reflecting off of the long lake. And you're looking around. You're almost at the point of just going, there, I have no idea where they went or anything like that. And you see on a sort of lone street on a corner of what looks to be maybe an inn, maybe it was a rented out home for this reason, or maybe it was vacant, who's to say. But on a balcony, you see an individual matching the description, and you see two others posted out front the door as well on the ground floor.
Vali, I think this is it.
Seems like it.
For reference, it's like way back here,
at the
like in the
near the edge of
furthest
the water.
reaches. Yeah, for the furthest reaches of the residential district.
Does the building itself border the water?
No. There's probably like not a block, but maybe like a quarter of a block until the edge of the boardwalk. What do we do?
I'm hanging back, so I don't have much input. I'm just waiting.
I know
Yeah,
I have
Vidar,
questions, but I'm not there.
Yeah, at this point, hours later, Thea, you never found Nela out in the open, and at this point, Haru kind of flapped back and started heading back towards the inn. Maybe he was just out to stretch his wings.
Oh, yeah, I was heading back to the inn to find Nela.
Yeah, you get back to the inn.
I couldn't find her.
She's there. No, she's there.
Oh, okay.
She's in the inn. Yeah, she never left.
Okay. Yeah, and I went back there to give her the update, and I'm sure it was a fun, like, I don't know, 10 minutes to half hour of something, and then Thea will walk back out. Yeah, or longer, and then Thea will walk back out and go, oh, great, sounds great. And then she'll look around and go, oh, perfect. This happened last time almost. And after that, she'll just be like, well, I guess I'll go get a drink or walk around or something. She'll spend the next like hour walking around looking at Merchant's Plaza or whatever, just getting a lay of the land and people and atmosphere, and when the sun dips, she'll just go get a drink.
I'm on vacation, damn it, and I will not let them ruin it.
Basically.
Basically.
Yeah, so Vidar, you sort of get to like the intersection of this street corner, and you see probably about 50 to 80 feet away, just because of where everything is placed. Your two compatriots sort of eyeing this building.
Fido just waits because he hasn't been given a signal yet.
Oh, it's like really late now, right? So there's like a lot of people out.
It's like 9 in the evening, but you're back in the residential district. Most of what would be going on would be back in either in the merchants district or the artisans district, or near one of the taverns.
I think we should come back at another time.
Seems the best approach.
Alright, we'll fall back.
Vido's just waiting for the yell the wood biscuits.
Yeah, no, I'm not yelling the word biscuits.
Oddly enough, on the other side of the street, you just hear, "Fresh biscuits! Get your fresh biscuits here!"
Is that the
Oh
signal?
my God.
Does it sound like
That's the trigger word!
Does that sound like Vali? I'm not used to Vali's voice.
Oh dear God.
Oh my God.
If I was a chaotic DM, I would let this play out, but I'm just a
Roll an
magician.
insight.
Yeah, who's making biscuits at this late at night?
Natural one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you
like-
think it's Molly.
Like, Vidar, like a sleeper cell, goes, destroy.
The shadow kicks in.
Oh no, that's right.
So, alright, so the two of you pull back. You reconvene with your dwarven
It takes
companion.
it takes a second because I think they're backtracking, so I back up to match the distance.
Backing up.
It takes a second to realize they're trying to come to me and go, oh yes, yes. I'm very good
Keep
at this
backing up.
espionage business.
You just keep backing up. Stay away from me!
So, what did I didn't hear the code word. I mean, someone's selling biscuits, but I'm pretty sure that wasn't you.
Well, there's only like 9 people on the street in the middle of the residential district. I think we found the place.
Excellent. Now, I think the best time, now stick with me on this. I think the best time to break in would be during the day.
During the day.
Because Mogdred is gonna be at a meeting at Town Hall.
Oh
True.
my God.
Dagmar will probably be with him. And so there'll probably be just a small guard force that we could either evade or evade. Fighting isn't really an option, but
Those are the same options, Vidar.
the second option was going to be fighting, but that's not really an option. If it comes to it, it comes to it, but we can't really start a scene. The ideal situation would be get in there, see if it's there. If it is, grab it, grab anything else that's cool, and get out.
Anything that's cool.
What are we looking for anyway?
It's a dark glass orb. About yay
Oh,
big.
okay.
He only had a few packs that could have fit in. He had 2 saddlebags and a pack he carried. There's a
Did
chance
he look like he was carrying it when he walked in?
I didn't see it. He might not have it with him, but my guess is probably on the pack he carries with him.
So if he takes it to the meeting,
Then we won't find it in the room. But that's fine. Because then we know he either doesn't have it here or it's on him.
so
And
we're just
then-
going to get arrested for no reason.
You only get arrested if you get caught.
I'd rather not get arrested, Vidar.
Thea's got
Then-
diplomatic immunity.
Then, you know,
Okay, so we're sending.
Do I though? I don't think I do.
I like how it
are
says
you telling
Mordred's.
me you're
I
not?
like how it says Mordred's hopping pad. I really like that little touch there.
You're telling me you're not good enough to just climb up into a balcony, search one room, and not get caught?
Yes. In the middle of broad daylight. You forgot that part.
I mean, we could wait until the dead of night when everyone's sleeping. That way, it'll be in there for sure. But then we run the risk of running into Mogdred. Listen, I have a lot of money.
So you're saying you'll bail us out?
I could bail you out. I could pay you. And that gives me a thought.
Okay.
I mean, we also don't have to put ourselves on the line here.
50 gold.
There was an organization that might still be operating here called the Fangs of Smaug.
Oh, I was wondering about that.
They're kind of a thieves organization.
Thing.
Perhaps I can pay them to do this.
So we're just gonna pay a criminal organization
Well, what? I mean,
where they has diplomatic ties to somebody else.
I'm brainstorming here, and you keep shooting down every idea. What do you got?
You guys having this conversation in the street?
Yeah.
Yes.
I've established Vidar is not good at espionage.
I'm just checking. Want to make sure I didn't miss something.
Let's just go back to the tavern.
Okay, yeah, we'll go back to the tavern, and this discussion is not over.
But it was. I wish I could tell you it wasn't. But it was.
Much to Vidar's knowledge, it very much was.
All right. So, you guys return to the tavern, then you
Really?
find.
Sorry, really quick.
Go. Yep.
Was it here when Thea last came across Armand's little shop and she like got tea with him and whatever?
That was Dale.
That was dang it. Okay. Well, she's gonna shop for tea leaves because she's bored, and so she'll be back at the tavern, but she'll have bought tea leaves. She's got like a little goodie bag.
This is where Callan here got the tip that he could get drugs, but in Dale, or he had a guy
Yeah.
that turned out to be Varen.
Yeah.
which
Right.
Told him about. So it was a whole
Yeah,
domino.
Grove. Yeah.
I mean,
One thing
yeah,
led to
I
another.
couldn't keep track of the two.
I'm aware because I
Yeah.
can't either.
Yeah.
You know,
okay.
Yeah,
you ask about tea one day, and then a week later, you end up working in a brothel. Life comes at you fast.
Life's weird, man. Callan here seems
So-
to be doing well for himself, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
So does Vidar get the feeling from Salfos and Vali they are not interested in stealing this item?
If it comes up, I'll do it, but I'm not going out of my way for it.
What about you, Salfos? Come on, we've been together.
Yes. In many bad situations. And you've had the knack to get yourself into worse situations.
So you're telling me you're not gonna help me?
I guess I'll help you, Master Door.
That's all I need. Salfos and I against the world. We got this.
Enjoy, lads.
We should
so
probably
you're saying there's a
inform.
chance.
We should probably inform Thea. We kind of left her hanging. But
Yeah,
we,
so
can,
as you
we can go
guys-
back to the inn. We're already back at the inn. We can concoct a plan.
Yeah, so as you
I'm
guys
not gonna like
return-
this.
return to the inn, it's quite sparse in there right now. Most people are retiring for the evening. There's about one individual off in the corner drinking, and you find Thea at the bar, who seems to have just been here waiting this whole time.
I went shopping and then I was just like, yeah, whatever, drink, let's go.
Okay.
But I'll turn around and go, oh,
Sipping margaritas on the boardwalk.
nah, need.
Let's go up to our rooms. It's been a long day. We're all very tuckered out.
Wink, wink. It's
Yeah, Vidar actually goes.
Very well then. I will stand up with my mead. I'll pay my tab. Then I'll follow.
Okay. The tab inadvertently still covered
We found
Oh.
where
by Ceawin.
Beautiful.
Vali and Salfos found where Mogdred is staying.
no, we found his hopping pad.
We found his hopping pad, and we gonna rob it.
Okay. So you already decided to rob it, and when?
We haven't tried. I'm a bit smarter than that. I'm
Okay.
not. We're gonna plan it out first.
Alrighty. I don't know. Vidar, sometimes there have been a few situations where it was just, we say this and go. Considering how you guys literally just left me when I was just going to
Well,
update
we didn't want
Nela.
you to come. We didn't want Nela. I didn't want Nela to come out and tell us no.
Oh no, I wasn't. I was just updating her. I mean, she could have said all she wanted.
Vali's
She
just looking
probably-
back and forth, just...
I have. I
Vali,
need to
I'm
get this
surprised
out.
you're still with us.
What, hun?
I'm about to go.
I need to get this vision out of my head. For some reason, I'm picturing when Thea returned to inform Nela. It is just the original Teen Titans animation, where every time you go to Raven's room, it just goes, "What?"
Basically.
Yeah.
So we have a few working ideas.
All right. Let's see.
Vali wants no
Let's
part
hear
of
these
this. So,
ideas.
Vali, I'm not gonna force you. You know,
You're not a
maybe the criminal life isn't for you. That's fine. Go get an
You're
ale
damn right.
and sleep it off.
Well, hold on, Vidar. If he's not a part of this, now he knows too much about what we could be planning.
What?
Oh no, now we
what's he
gotta
gonna
whack
do?
him.
He's not gonna talk. I'm not gonna whack a man we just
a
met.
joke.
I didn't realize you were so cold.
Vali hears that and slowly starts bringing his hand
It
to
was
his
such
sword.
a joke. It was such
Vali,
a joke.
you're fine. Thea's bad at making jokes.
You're not fine.
If we're talking about whacking up there, I suggest you be a bit more discreet.
Oh, shush, hey, you just wish you could be a part.
Honey, if you knew.
Vali, just so you know, my track record is 100%. I have never gotten into anything that killed me yet.
Keyword is yet.
But I've gotten into a lot of bad shit, and it hasn't killed me yet. That's a pretty good track record.
All right. Let's hear these plans.
Okay.
I miss Ceawin. I might just be leaving.
Okay, so
The bar is death, apparently. That thing you can do once.
Look at me, I can do a trick. I can die once.
So, I had the clever idea of trying to rob the place during the day when Mogdred and Dangmar and probably a couple of the guards will be at meetings.
Okay.
The downside is broad daylight. There will be people about, but hey, you know, so who's gonna come after us? Is you think a random citizen's gonna be like, hey, why are you going in that house? No one fucking cares.
Well, if I remember correctly, too, Salfos was the one that helped us significantly with dressing up as a goblin and orc during the Great Elf Liberation.
Salfos, you could disguise
If anyone
us.
can assist with a disguise, he could.
Oh, yeah.
You could, you know.
So if you do it
won't
during the
fool-
day,
Honestly amazed that you guys lived through that with those.
It won't fool the guards, but it'll fool passerbys.
I mean, you could dress up as a citizen, or perhaps someone that the guards may take interest of, or however else. However, if this is during the day, during negotiations, do know that I will not be available to assist.
Also,
but perhaps
you know,
that might
I might not be available.
That might
There's
be better.
some meetings I have to go to, but
So just, leave us to hang out. Okay.
the next option.
Everyone open their Outlook calendar, see which day looks best.
The next option is we do it in the dead of night when everybody's sleeping. The downside is everyone's going to be at the house there. But the upside is if Mogdred has it, it'll be there.
Yes, because I have no doubt he will allow that item to leave his person at any time.
I kind of feel the same way. He has a bag he carries on him that's big enough to carry it.
Is it a specific inn that they are staying at, or a certain notable building that they are staying at?
It's a hop and pad. That might have been an abandoned building beforehand, near the
Is
edge
that
of
the
town.
name of the building?
That's what Salfos
I've
and I have
never
started.
heard of this.
That's what Salfos and I started calling it, and you know, it's pretty catchy. We're hip with the kids lingo these days.
Whatever the Middle Earth equivalent of an Airbnb is, I don't know.
So there's no name to this building. It's not a specific inn.
We'll just call it the asshole house or the hop and pad. Like, it's not an inn. It's a house.
Okay. That's good to know, I suppose. It's just a house. It's not an inn of any sort.
Okay, we could also do this toward the end of negotiations. So if something goes wrong, we can just get out of town and negotiations aren't completely ruined.
Head south on a couple of white Broncos.
But here's my idea, right? Here's my idea. Salfos breaks in. He's the sneaky one, right? You might be sneaky too, Thea.
God.
I don't know. If you are, you can go too. I hang out outside. If something goes wrong, maybe yelling biscuits in the situation won't work.
I am more of the talking my way out of something, not sneaky or I would be better with a distraction or making sure that we
Salfos.
can ensure an escape.
Salfos and Vali, if
Potentially.
you wanna get your first crime under your belt, you two can. I'm assuming you're you're a guard captain. I'm assuming you're an upstanding citizen, Vali.
Yes.
Salfos and maybe Vali, because I can't peg Vali yet. I don't know who he is.
The way he said it was just
Those
like,
two
why am I here?
Can sneak in and try to find and steal the item and anything else cool they might find. Thea and I hang out outside. One of you can be out on the balcony while the other person's in the building. And so if the person on the balcony gives us like a hand sign, like maybe like 2 fingers up in the air if something goes bad.
Oh, I'll give you 2 fingers up in the air.
Yeah, do this. If something goes bad, do this to us on the street. And then Thea and I can make a distraction so you guys can make an escape.
What was that hand sign? One more time.
two
Double
middle fingers.
birds.
Double birds. You can't mistake that hand sign.
No. And I've got a good idea for a distraction too, just in case.
My idea is punching people.
I was thinking, one of us, probably you, could certainly act incredibly drunk, or maybe we could actually get you drunk. That might be more convincing. And then you can just cause a ruckus like you always do, and that should be a loud enough distraction, right?
Yes.
We're all going to prison.
This is a perfect plan. It cannot go wrong. Now we just gotta pick a night to do it on.
I certainly must, I have to admit, I like the idea of doing it at the tail end so that it has less potential to affect negotiations. Otherwise,
Okay,
it
so-
could be a much bigger deal than we all want to cause.
Let's plan for the night before the end of negotiations. There's 5 days of negotiations from what I've heard. So on the 4th night, so they still have to stay here for a whole day of negotiations. Because we don't want to wait till the very end and they just leave without staying the night. Then we'll just... Or we could just confront them outside the town after they leave. We can follow them, confront them, and steal from their camp. But who knows how that'll work.
It's certainly direct, but yeah. I'm a little less confident in that direct approach.
Okay, so on the 4th night, we break in. Deal? Deal?
Fine.
Hey.
All right.
Yes!
So much reluctancy, like, fuck.
If we all get in jail, I will bail Vali out first, followed by Salfos, Thea, and then myself.
You can bail Vali out first.
Because
fuck you, that's why.
Because he's the new guy, you know? He's not ready for prison. He has a lot going for him. You and I have been through the shitter before, Salfos.
I just met you fucking people and I already agreed to go to jail for you.
It'll go
I'm
off
not
without a
sort
hit.
of you guy.
We're not gonna go into jail. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Alright.
So let us all get a good night's sleep and
Hope you're
begin
all
the
excited for
countdown
Ocean's
for the
11.
heist.
Alright, we have another spoof one-shot of Ocean's 11 Middle-earth style. Oh, jeez.
We need to start keeping a
So-
list.
So, the rest of you in the evening shove off to bed, nursing whatever buzz or drunken state that you might have at this point. thinking about the next few days of negotiations for those of you who that actually matters to, and the rest of you that are just here to either be a face or take in whatever you want. But that concludes the evening, and you all will get a decent night's sleep. Tomorrow begins the first day of the council, November 25th. And that is where we are going to end.
Oh my god. I should probably not be a part of
And-
this.
And when we pick up next week, we will see where this thread goes. As the negotiations will consist of many parties involved and many topics discussed. But we will be ever fixated on this group. So let's see what happens. And just remember, what's a little B&E among friends? So we will all see you next Tuesday. Remember, no paint and chat tomorrow night. We will be back
Sorry.
Friday. So see you all later. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay proficient, adventurers.